Am I the asshole for buying my tomboy daughter a girly birthday gift? I know how it sounds, but please hear me out before you pass judgment. I have one kid, 10 female, who I love dearly, but she's not a very girly girl. She likes Legos, roughhousing, clothes from the boys section, stuff like that. So I figured I'd get her something different for her birthday to steer her in the right direction. I settled on a music box, pastel pink in color with a pretty ballerina inside that twirls to the music when you wind it up. I thought she might be inspired to wear jewelry if she had somewhere to put it. I wrapped it up in a box topped with a big bow. You know, the works. My daughter cried a little when she opened the present, which was to be expected. She was really hoping for some new games, but I knew this was the right choice for her. She begged for me to return it, complaining of, and I quote, a horrible feeling like my soul is being sucked out of me every time I twist the key to play the song, make the ballerina dance, you know, fun girly stuff. I ignored her dramatics and played the tune for her each night. Eventually, she came to like it enough to stop hiding from me. She even started sleeping with it right next to her bed, though, of course, my little tomboy denied that. I was happy, she was happy. It was all good, until my daughter started playing that damn thing over and over again just to make a point. Of course, she acted like she was innocent, insisting it wasn't her, that it was something wrong with the box. But I know she's doing this in hopes that I'll just exchange the box for something less girly. But I've told her time and time again that I do not negotiate with terrorists, so she isn't going to get her way by acting immature. I was set on ignoring her antics, but what's happened since then is the final straw. She won't stop playing the damn song. Now, I like a cute little melody as much as the next gal, but she's had it going 24/7 since yesterday. I took the key out of the bag thinking it would fix it, but I'm certain she's rigged it because it wouldn't stop. Last night, I woke up to the infernal song and found my daughter up way past her bedtime, dancing along to the song in the pink tutu I bought her years ago. She wouldn't even respond to her name, no matter how much I yelled. I get the point she's making is that if she becomes girly, she won't be her anymore. And truth be told, I get it now. She doesn't feel like my daughter anymore, and I miss her. But like I said, I refuse to respond to this type of behavior, so am I the asshole here? Am I the asshole for telling my mom to remove or change a tattoo? I, 17 female to male, am trans, and I came out to my family a few months ago. All in all, everyone has been supportive, although I do believe that my mom was a tiny bit bummed. She said that she would always be supportive, but that she needs time to process all of this, which was really painful for me. But that's not the reason I'm here. My mom got a tattoo with my sister's name and my dead name after I was born. It's this huge tattoo with a unique design that incorporates both my sister's name and my dead name. It covers most of her arm, and she's really proud of it because my older sister designed it and gifted it to her for her birthday. Obviously, constantly seeing my dead name is kind of triggering to me. Therefore, I told her that she just needs to remove it. She seemed shocked. Then she told me that she's too old for longer tattoo sessions. She hasn't gotten a tattoo in years because of that. She was also diagnosed with depression, and so she uses that as an excuse for not having the energy to change it. I don't really believe her, but whatever. Now she's often trying to cover it up with clothes, but I feel like that's not enough. Just the knowledge that the name is still there, it haunts me. But she refuses to change it. We've had a lot of fights because of it. She said that she's really trying to hide it, but it's part of her body and she's in love with it. She says that there's so much history and love for her children in that tattoo. I can't really relate because I don't have any particularly significant tattoos. Now, my birthday was a few days ago and some family came over and the issue came up because my cousin was showing off her new tattoo and someone asked about the dead name tattoo. My mom got all uncomfortable and then she got silent and excused herself to the kitchen. So everyone started asking me about it, and I told everyone that I wanted her to remove the tattoo but that she doesn't want to. My sister also doesn't want her to remove it since she thinks that it'll look really awful. The entire design is attached to the names and the only way to cover it up would be to just make her whole entire arm black. Anyway, I didn't really plan for this reaction, but my cousin, who can relate to me a bit because she's queer, for some reason got furious and went after my mom. Then she started yelling at her for being so unsupportive, and she even called her transphobic. I don't really think my mom is transphobic, although it was nice to see someone get angry about the tattoo, because my cousin was finally saying some things that I was feeling but I didn't want to put into words. So now my mom is being super dramatic and staying with my grandpa. And my dad and my sister are mad at me for having my family gang up on her. But it is not my fault that her tattoo was highly offensive to me. So does that make me an asshole? Am I wrong for trying to ruin my dad's relationship? I, female 22, have a best friend, Emily, female 23. We've been best friends for over 4 years now, and we do everything together. I've invited her to my dad's house, my mom's house. She's basically met my entire family. We went on vacations. We sleep over each other's houses all the time. I mean, we're basically together every single day. Now, here's the problem. I took Emily over to my dad's house and she met him for the first time on New Year's Eve. Immediately, I could see that she was fixated on him. She kept on going on and on about how much she loves his house, and she just kept telling me that she was going to make my dad her sugar daddy one day. I completely laughed it off because I thought it was just a ridiculous joke. But later on, I find out that her and my dad have been secretly dating for 5 months after I introduced her to him. I saw both of them during these 5 months, and neither one of them thought it was a good idea to tell me that they were dating. Now, keep in mind that my dad is a 55-year-old grandfather. I cannot believe that he would be dating one of my best friends. Now, ever since their relationship went public, my dad and Emily have been going on trips all around the world, to Mexico, to Italy. He is literally doing things for her that he never did for me, as he was a terrible father. Me and him always butt heads, and I've always wanted a better relationship with him, but he has never done anything to make it go any better. Not only are they dating, but they asked for one of my other friends to join into their relationship so they can have like some weird trio thing. And ever since then, he's been inviting more of my friends on vacations with him. So I decided to get on my TikTok and completely blast their relationship. I told everyone the gold digger that Emily was and that my dad was just some creep that was dating a young girl. The video got over 800,000 views, and now everyone is attacking my dad and Emily. And now I just found out that Emily is pregnant with my dad's kid. I am so mad, I don't even know what to do anymore. Am I the asshole for wearing the joke bikini my friend got me? So it was my birthday a couple of months ago. I had a party and I got some gifts. My friend Mandy got me a super cute bikini. I liked it, said thanks, and she had ripped the tags off, but whatever. Anyway, I went to the community pool with my roommate, wore the bikini, got in the water, and my roommate immediately says, girl? I look down and see that the bikini is now kind of see-through. Haha, good joke, Mandy. Anyway, Mandy invited me over to her place to hang out with her and her boyfriend and a few others. Most of the other people leave and we were still hanging out. I was like, what if we get in your hot tub? She thought that was a good idea, so we all went to change. I met her boyfriend in the hot tub while she was getting drinks. I hopped in and immediately he's looking at my chest. I pretended like I didn't notice and just made small talk. She comes out a few minutes later and just looks in shock. Eventually, she gets in. She asked, is that the one I bought? I replied, yeah, I love it. I wear it everywhere. Then I made up a story about how I wore it to the beach, to some party with lots of guys, etc. She was just like, oh. So we're talking in the tub for about 20 to 30 minutes. Eventually, we get out and change back to our regular clothes. She approached me after and was like, I'm sorry, I thought you'd notice, but the swimsuit gets kind of see-through when you get in the water. I was like, yeah, I know. Why'd you buy me a freaking see-through bathing suit? She's all, it's a joke. Wait, you knew? So you just spent the last 30 minutes flashing my boyfriend on purpose? I replied that I'm just wearing my birthday gift from her, so I didn't think she would mind. So yeah, I know I flashed her boyfriend on purpose, but does that make me the asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to take off my cross necklace for my sister's wedding? So my 25 female sister Cindy, 29 female, is getting married in 3 months, and she asked me to be her maid of honor. Of course I said yes. Cindy and I have always been fairly close. Well, I mean, we definitely have our issues, but nothing too serious. Okay, so anyways, I have a small cross necklace that my grandpa gave me when I was 13. I wear it 24/7 unless I'm taking a shower or going swimming. I wear the necklace not only for sentimental reasons, but for religious purposes. Needless to say, it's extremely important to me. A few days ago, Cindy and I were going dress shopping together. Cindy's 5 other bridesmaids were also there. So while I was trying on one of the dresses, Cindy made a comment about my necklace. She told me that I have to take my necklace off during the wedding because it clashes with the dress and the theme. I was pretty taken aback because I don't see why she should have any say in what I wear. I told her that while I understand that it's her wedding, I will not take off the necklace. She knows how important my necklace is to me and that I almost never take it off. I couldn't believe that she would even ask me that. Cindy started to get upset and kept insisting that I could take off the stupid necklace for just one day. At this point, I felt that I was being attacked for my beliefs, and I was getting extremely frustrated, so I told her that my decision was final. She was so pissed. She told me that if some piece of gaudy jewelry was so important, then I'm no longer welcome in her wedding. I was heartbroken that she would say that to me, so I started to get emotional. I quickly changed out of the dress and left the shop. I was humiliated that my sister talked to me like that in front of all of her friends. Now, all of the bridesmaids are on Cindy's side. They said that I'm being uptight and that what Cindy wants should be my top priority. But she should have never expected me to take off my necklace for her stupid wedding. At this point, I don't even think I'm gonna go. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for charging a bride more for makeup when the original price we agreed on was lower? I'm a makeup artist for the past 9 years. I charge $500 for bridal makeup and around $250 for bridesmaids. But for regular party makeup, I charge about $150. So a few weeks ago, a lady had booked me for party makeup on June 25th. She booked for 10 a.m. I went there thinking I'd do regular party makeup. I had agreed that the cost would be $150 with her. As I was there were some people coming over. I assume relatives. At some point, it slips from a woman about the wedding, and I realized that the woman I'm doing makeup on is the bride. I was pissed when I realized I was doing bridal makeup for the price of simple party makeup. I couldn't believe that she would lie about the occasion, but I kept doing my job. After we were finished, she gave me $150, and I notified her that she was actually $350 short. I swear, some people. Guys, a like for part 2. When I was done with her makeup, she gave me $150, and I notified her that she was actually $350 short. She asked what I meant by that, and I said that I did bridal makeup. And that's what I charge for brides. She said that we agreed on simple party makeup and that I'm basically ripping her off because I work the same amount of time and use the same amount of makeup as I would just for the simple party makeup. Then she said that although she's the bride, she didn't want full glam makeup, but just a simple makeup look. I told her that she doesn't get to dictate how I form my prices. She then refused to pay me at all and called me a scammer and told me to get out of her house. Before I left, her mom threw $200 in my face and told me to get lost. Later, I was telling my friends what happened and they all sided with the bride. They said that unless I used more expensive products and did extra labor, that I'm not justified in charging her more since she requested simple party makeup. So now that my friends are telling me that I'm the asshole, I need to ask you guys, am I wrong for charging her more just because she was the bride? The fact that people have to sit here and ask if they're the asshole in situations like this blows my mind. Am I the asshole for choosing my niece over my kids? My kids, Mike, male 18, and Mara, female 14, are very close together, but they hate their cousin Rosa, 14. Every time they're together, they fight. My ex-wife has primary custody of Mara, so I only have her 1 week in a month, and usually Mike comes over and joins that week. Rosa's parents are emotionally abusive, so she spends most of her time with me, except for the week that Mara and Mike come over. She spends that week with her other uncle, Nick. I was supposed to go on a trip for work. It was on a week that Mara and Mike were at my place. I wanted to take them with me so we could spend time together in my free time. The day before we leave, Rosa called me, crying about something that her parents had done, and she told me that she went over to Nick's house and he wasn't home. I called Nick and he said his wife is sick and they're in the hospital and he can't take Rosa. I took Rosa and brought her to my house and told her that I was taking her on a trip the next day. From the moment we got there, the kids started to fight. After a few hours, they told me they won't go on the trip together and that I either have to take my kids or Rosa. I tried to talk to them and convince them to just be nice to each other for a few days, but it didn't work. At the end, they told me I have to choose, and I couldn't take Rosa back to her abusive home, so I took my kids back to their mom's homes and went to the trip with Rosa. Both of my kids are mad at me now. They said that I'm favoring and choosing Rosa over them. I think I made the right choice, but everyone seems to disagree with me. So, am I the asshole? Am I wrong for asking my wedding guests to pay $10 to come to my wedding? My fiance, 23 male, and I, 23 female, are getting married in less than a month. We are doing a small wedding and only inviting 20 guests. We decided that we wanted to have our wedding up in a canyon, but to access this canyon, it costs $10. So we're having our guests pay the $10 to enter. We put this canyon view on our invitations. My sister called today as she just received her invite in the mail and was mad about having to pay to attend a wedding. She called me an asshole because I was being a cheapskate and there are thousands of canyons that would have been free. But me and my fiance already have our hearts set on this specific canyon and view. As the argument went on, she started to nitpick our whole wedding plan. Like having the guests bring their own camping chairs, not having a real reception and just a small dinner for those who attend, and posting our registry all over social media but only having 20 people actually be invited. We just don't want to spend a lot of money, and so doing it outdoors is one way of doing that. We also just want our close, intimate friends and family to be there, so I don't know what's wrong with keeping it small. And to all of those who will ask, it's a canyon fee that you have to pay at the base, so it's not like you could just pay the park rangers in advance. It's open to the public. So am I the asshole? Here's a little bit more info/update. 1. No, it's not in a national park. It's just a canyon near our hometowns. We talked to the rangers and they said that it was fine as long as we didn't bring over 100 people. 2. I didn't realize that posting your registry on social media is considered a cheapskate move. Just because someone's not invited to the actual wedding doesn't mean that they're not going to want to give me a gift. Everybody posts everything nowadays online, and many people who already knew they weren't invited had asked me about the registry, so I posted it. 3. Yes, we talked to the rangers. We asked them if we could buy passes or slips or give them a list of names ahead of time in order to pay for our guests. But ultimately, none of the solutions worked. So we decided that just giving our guests the heads up of the $10 fee would be the best way to go. Now we have other guests complaining about the fee, and I kind of feel like we might have made the wrong choice. So are we wrong for charging our guests $10 to come to our wedding? Am I the asshole for getting my aunt and uncle kicked out of their house for not letting my husband and I sleep together? I, male 27, am married to a man, male 28. He is the love of my life. I had only ever dated women before him, but when I met him, I realized that I was bi. And then we fell in love. We got married in the fall of 2018, so it's been almost 4 years. Now we live in Vermont. My whole family is from a small town in Texas, a super conservative Catholic area. I was raised there, but my dad got a good job in NYC when I was 15. The culture shock was difficult. We went from living in a rural Texas area to living in an apartment in Manhattan. My parents didn't sell our house in Texas though. They allowed our aunt and uncle who had just had their third child to move in while charging them a small rent. In college, when I came out as bi, my brother and dad were very supportive. My mom needed some time to accept. The rest of my family reacted poorly at first, but eventually they came around. During visits, we stayed with my aunt and uncle at my old house, but because we weren't married, we weren't allowed to share a bed. We never argued about this because we both would rather make peace. Visiting since, instead of staying with my aunt and uncle, we would rent a motel room. During COVID, we did not visit, but this summer, my parents and brother decided to go visit my hometown again for 2 weeks and invited my husband and I. I wanted a motel again, but my aunt and uncle insisted my brother, husband, and I stay with them. The first night, the sleeping situation was being discussed after my cousins went to bed. My aunt and uncle wanted me and my brother to take the spare bedroom, and my husband to sleep on the couch. All 3 of us took issue with that. They snapped and said that we were not really married because we're gay, and that they had children in the house. They said that it would be a bad influence on their kids. This hurt my husband's feelings and he started crying and ran out of the room. When my husband ran out, my uncle had the audacity to start laughing. That's when I saw red. I started cussing them out so loudly that my young cousins came in to investigate. I told them that if they didn't go apologize to my husband immediately, then I was going to tell my dad what just happened and I was going to make sure to have them kicked out of the house that was still in my parents' name. My bros seconded everything that I said. They started backtracking and saying that we were welcome in their house, but that we had to follow their rules. I responded that it wasn't really their house. I told them that they were going to be homeless if I could have my way. The kids started crying because they heard me say that they were going to be homeless, so we just left. My husband was on the porch crying. I promised him that I would never subject him to that again. I told my dad what happened. To say that my dad was angry would be an understatement. He served them a notice of eviction for 60 days. Now I'm getting slammed with text messages, phone calls, Facebook messages from my family calling me an asshole. I want to know if I'm the asshole for allowing my young cousins to end up homeless. Is it fair that they have to pay for what my aunt and uncle said to me and my husband? Am I the asshole for calling my classmate a dumbass for quote-unquote saving goldfish by releasing them into the ocean? My classmate recently made a TikTok and she showed a group of people at lunchtime the video. They were next to our table, so I overheard the girl say, "Hey guys, come check out the video that I made on TikTok." And oh my gosh, guys, in the video, she explains how she rescued goldfish from the pet store and then released them in the ocean so that they can live free. I was horrified when I heard her say that. I love fish and I have several aquariums, so I'm pretty sure I know a thing or two about them. I ended up walking over and asked her to show me the video, and when I saw it, I facepalmed. She asked me why, and I said, "You realize you're actually a dumbass, right? This is one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen." Her friend looks at me and says, "Well, that's rude. Why would you say that? Because she cares?" To which I had to explain to the girl that the goldfish are freshwater fish. They can't survive in the ocean because it's salt water, so all of those goldfish were dead within minutes. They basically choked to death as the salt filled up their gills. Lastly, you never release animals into the wild. There are goldfish that are destroying our rivers and lakes because of dumbasses like her. They all said that I'm a bully and then they walk away. I later get called into the principal's office, who told me that I was expected to apologize. I said, heck no. I stand by what I said. I am sick and tired of ignorant people destroying the environment. They ended up calling my parents and I got sent home, and my parents were pissed that I refused to apologize. And now I might get suspended over some dumb girl that killed a bunch of goldfish. How am I the asshole here?